Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Catherine Leathers, your 2025 Florida Watercolor Society President. On behalf of our FWS Board of Directors, it is a pleasure to welcome you to our Florida Watercolor Society Sunday afternoon demonstration with our online artist, Björn Bernström, and you can see him there. Looking forward to a great afternoon, Björn. The title of today's demonstration is Embrace the Blooms. Now, I need to give a few thank yous out to some of our members who helped to make this possible. First of all, special thanks to our digital director, Ron Malone, for setting this up. And Ron was also instrumental in setting up the beautiful PowerPoint slides for the workshop artists and demos, as well as for the Animal Friends exhibit. Remember, enter your Animal Friends painting in this exhibit, and we hope to see your painting in the exhibit as well. We'd also like to thank Rachel Correa for the use of her composition Eminence, which accompanied the slideshow prior to this demonstration. Also, thanks to Kathy Durden, and Nancy Murphy Davis for helping us yesterday. Now, today we have Gwen Kodad, who is our first vice president and FWS 2026 president. And we also have Subrata Basu, who is our second vice president and 2027 president, helping us. And to continue, we're delighted to have you here as we come together to learn more about watercolor painting from Björn Bernström. We have an exciting series of demonstrations lined up for you this year that includes the following outstanding watercolor artists: Kathleen Giles, Janet Rogers, Judy Saltzman, and Scott Stevenson. Please check your website for demonstration and workshop details. We've already had a wonderful demonstration with our judge and juror, Matthew Bird. You can view this recorded demo on your website, and you can also view his other demos on the YouTube channel. Your presence here today makes this demonstration more meaningful, and we are excited to share this experience with you. We hope you will leave here with new insights from Björn Bernström. Now, technically, during this demonstration, your microphones will be muted. If you have questions or comments, please write them down in the questions section in the Zoom meeting. I will be pleased to ask Björn Bernström your questions and share your comments. Just so you know, some of your questions will be answered as the demonstration progresses. We'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can. We will forward Björn Bernström's supply list for your reference, as many of your questions are often related to artist supplies. Thank you again for joining us, and let's make this a memorable event together. Welcome. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our FWS 2025 online workshop artist coming to you across the Atlantic Ocean from Sweden, Björn Bernström. Björn Bernström is considered one of the Nordic countries' foremost contemporary watercolor painters, whose mastery of light and fluidity has made him a sought-after workshop instructor. His works pulse with contrast, harmony, and an effortless grace that captures the raw essence of his subjects. A sought-after instructor, Björn has spent 15 years sharing his expertise across the Nordics, Europe, Australia, and North America, leaving an indelible mark on the watercolor community. His artistic journey has traversed shifting landscapes, both literal and thematic, from the quiet majesty of the Nordic wilderness to the weathered solitude of abandoned barns. His brush breathes life into forgotten spaces. A deep connection to American culture and music influences his work, giving rise to evocative cityscapes and haunting apocalyptic urban visions. But at the heart of every piece lies a singular pursuit, the interplay of light and mood, the delicate alchemy of pigment and water in perfect motion. The title again of his demonstration today is Embrace the Blooms. Björn will demonstrate several of his watercolor techniques to create a loose painting using a wet in wet approach, bringing out cauliflowers and backgrounds to create the unique effects that are his signature style. And now the demonstration goes to Björn.
Thank you. What a wonderful presentation. Thank you for having me. Let's see, just like that. Okay, I wonder how many are you out there? Is there anyone or is it just me?
I'm still here, Björn.
You are still
Okay, and we'll should get some questions in the question section soon. I see 74 participants, so you're not alone.
Okay, great to hear.
Gwen, can you make the screen focus just on Björn, please?
Just tell me if it's...
I can still see you, and we're working on it.
Who is you? Is it me? Can you see me?
I can see you perfectly.
Okay, good. I can see myself too. Well, welcome to Stockholm, or I'm sitting here about 30 kilometers outside of Stockholm in my studio. And so fun to do a demo for the Floridans, or whatever you call yourself. I've been doing workshop. I've been to Florida and did a workshop a few years ago before the COVID. Indian Rocks. I stayed there. I'm not sure about the place. I think it's Indian Rocks, yeah. So that was fun. I'd love to come back someday. But Zoom or online is fine too. So what I'm going to do here is show you some of my watercolor techniques. I'll show you some techniques, and I will also do a full landscape demo. But first, I'm going to show you some just techniques. So if you want to join my workshop in June, it will be it will be good that you will see some of the techniques here before that. And before I start painting, I'll just show you some of my my gear. So I'm going to change camera. Well, first I might just introduce you to my studio here. It's an old schoolhouse, so it's late. It's about 6 o'clock afternoon, so it's dark outside. So I'll pull down the curtains so people won't see me, because my studio is an old schoolhouse from the 1850s. So large windows, and here on the wall I have some really big scale. This is a deer, so this painting is about 3 meters. So I enjoy painting large formats. So in this, as you can see, this is partly my band's rehearsal studio, and it's also my workshop studio, and where I sit and work, paint every day. So, okay. Well, here's a painting, but first I'll just show you some of my material. I'll turn off the fluorescent light. I'll show you some of my paint, my colors. I use a lot of Winsor Newton, always two colors, but I have other brands. But Winsor Newton, they were the only brand you could find when I started painting watercolors. I'm really in the 90s. It was common in Sweden, but nowadays we can find any, of course, Daniel Smith. I use Daniel Smith colors and Schmink colors, and also use an Italian brand called My Mary Blue, which is really nice. Not so easy to find, but it's good. So I have a variation of brands. And I will tell you on each painting what colors I'm using, so don't worry. And papers, I use almost always Saunders Waterford or Arches cold press. So that's I enjoy. I really like those papers. I think they're the best that fits my style and what I want. How I want the colors to behave on the paper, like these kind of effects, backgrounds and blooms and stuff. So those two brands and 300 grams, that's 140 pounds, I think. And I also use a lot of 640 grams, which is, I think, 300 pounds for my larger paintings, big scale. But as long as I paint on quarter sheets or half sheet, I can work on 300 or 140 pounds. Larger full sheets, I prefer 300 pounds papers, so they won't buckle. So that's about the papers and brushes. I'm pretty happy because I'm sponsored by the American brand Princeton. So and I really liked it. They're really nice. This and of those that they have sent me, I enjoy these the most. It's the this one. It's they are synthetic, but this one is a synthetic sable brush. Really nice brush. It's called Aqua Elite Quill. Wonderful point. Holds a lot of water. And this one is lovely. A mop. Also Aqua Elite. And I think that's also a sable. I mean, it's not sable, it's synthetic, but it's very similar. I cannot really feel the difference from real sable or these synthetic ones. And here's another really nice point for details. If I do portraits or really details things, a long round brush, velvet touch. And that's also a sable copy of sable, synthetic sable. And this is also Princeton. It's called the dagger, that kind of brush. I also use these bamboo goat hair brushes. Wonderful for I mean, you can get really nice shapes by doing this. And you can, when you paint, you can get it real flat. So I like those. And this is also a goat hair brush. Holds a lot of water for big washes. I have several sizes, flatter ones, and have a lot of sizes of these goat hair brushes. Or like They are not really expensive. They're cheap brushes and really good for mixing a lot of paint. And last but not least, I have my own crazy brushes, uh, which I cut myself. And I don't cut myself, but I cut the brushes all by myself. And I actually sell these on my website. And I had a workshop with Northwest Watercolor Society. And after that, I think, oh, I won't tell you how many I shipped to the US, but these are really, I use them on almost all my paintings. For instance, this painting, which is a typical Swedish landscape with the pine trees and forest, all of this is painted with a crazy brush. You can paint this in just in a minute. You can get this really edgy, sharp, crisp textures, which you cannot do with this really nice brush because it's too pretty. This is made for using your brain when you're doing all your brush strokes. With this one, I mean, you lose the connection to your head, and the brush do the work for you. You just fiddle around on this tree here. It does the work for you. If I would use this one, I would try to make this look irregular. Then I have to do everything with with my hand in my brain. This makes the work for you. This and other also all is made with a crazy brush. You do it for just in seconds when you're familiar with how it works. So it's really, I'm gonna sell it really. So uh, and for instance, I like getting all these loose stuff, blooms and backgrounds. So I use a lot of pigments, and then I use my spray bottles. This is also really crucial. I need this for almost all my paintings. I put paint on the paper, let it dry a bit, and then I spray to get some really nice things happening everywhere, or here and there, not everywhere. Loosen up the stiff, otherwise stiff painting, and I do it here and there, make it look a bit mystic and loose. And also this painting is done, all the trees and stuff is done with the crazy brush. Now I'm gonna show you how I use these two during this session. Okay, just gonna show you a bit more before and talk. As you saw, I have two different spray bottles. This one is for drops because I want the drops to fall out. It's not a big spray. It's for oh, you can't see the drops here, but they fall out and do things on the paper when the paint is almost dry. And this is for the mist. This is to keep the paper wet or to do blooms with this one. Now try to show that for you too. Just a quick thing. I mean, you have seen this, all of you, but when I'm painting, this is not about techniques, but when I'm painting and composing my work, I always think about the color wheel. So I'm just gonna talk really quick about this. I'm using the primaries, yellow, red, and blue, of course, and complementary colors to make a painting glow a bit more. So if I have a lot of green colors, I add red into it, the complementaries. And if I have a lot of blue stuff, I add a bit of orange, warm orange colors, that which is the complementary to blue, some kind of blue. And here you can see a typical background that I enjoy doing to get some atmospheric thing. So I want these things like down here. We call it in Swedish dry edges, where the pigments collect or assembles at the dry edges. When you have a big pool of paint and that area starts to dry, the pigments make a nice line here of pigment. So I enjoy getting these kind of things. Just take another one here. Here's things like this to give you some interesting thing in your painting. Or like this, I do some, this is a workshop paintings, so I do figures and stuff. This is an easy way to get some kind of, nice look for a painting by doing wet on wet, waiting for the dryness. I'll tell you how you get here. Or like this, just spraying on the almost dry paint. So if I want this to happen, I start with adding this violet blue color on the top and going down, change into a Antwerp blue with some yellow in it. But before I add that color here, this paint has to dry a bit, and then I add a lot of this Antwerp blue here. And because I painted that earlier and was nearly dry, and then I add this really wet area, this will push the pigments of that color away. And when that area, that's what I mean, when that area dries, you get these nice blooms. So I'm this area put a lot of water and pigment, so it's the water pushes the Antwerp blue pigments onto that nearly dry area. If it's hard to understand, I will show you later. And about the color wheel, also the color wheel, this is theory. We have a warm side of the color wheel and a cool side. So I'm always thinking of cool and warm in every painting. Otherwise, you won't get that really nice light or heat. So here's cool colors, violet, blue, green, and here's the warm reds, yellows, orange. Always working with the warm and cool colors. So cool back here, warmer, warm hands, fingers, ears and stuff. So also here, cool, warm. Always thinking of that. So if you have a painting that you don't enjoy it, look, do I have warm and cool colors? Do I have any complementaries? So that's that. Here's just show you something more here just before. Typical Swedish. Also this crazy brush here to getting these the edges. And when this paint here, it's about some Payne's gray, ultramarine, neutral tint mix. When it's nearly dry, I take this spray bottle. I look at the sheen of this, the surface of this, of the paint when it dries. And when I see the sheen of the paint nearly, when I lose the sheen of the color, when it's nearly dry, then I spray a bit, some drops or bigger drops. Then you get this, it looks like the salt technique, but this is just water in nearly dry paint. So that's a kind of bloom effect. And that's also in the sky here. You see that background. To get this light or any light in your painting, you need to save the whiteness of the paper. You have to plan your painting, and of course doing the proper composition. This is the golden ratio. So as you can see here, this is the golden ratio. You can turn it either way. So that's what I put like this. This is so here's the focal point, and you can get the other way, that way. So I have something down here too. And some nice composition of there, so I don't have a straight horizontal line. You do some interesting move, but keeping the whites. So if I want some really nice sunlight here, I need to save clean paper. And in this order, white, yellow, red, cool color. So, and you cannot take away the yellow and keep white, red, cool blue. It won't be any heat. And you cannot take away or any of the red or white. White, yellow, blue won't be any good. So you have to keep and separate the right order: white, yellow, red, and cool blue, for instance. And instead of doing the treetops in like dark blue, where the sun is, I add some really warm colors there. This is Lofoten in Norway. This is a bit of a almost not half sheet, but sort of. So also crazy brush work. And as you can see, I do a lot of, here's some spraying, get some really nice effects. And here you got blooms here. When you do blooms, you take back the whiteness of the paper. Like here, it was a bit maybe darker area here, but when I spray here, I push away the pigments and get the paper back, and then you get some light. So I enjoy doing this. You can see here, or up here, it's drops. So first I do a nice wash of blue and yellow, and adding some really dark drops of clouds here. And this is a thicker mix of paint. So the thickness of the paint here is like cream. And here the blue here is like coffee. But when that starts to dry, that first wash, and I can see the shine, I'm looking at towards a spotlight or something, so I can see the surface if it's wet or shiny. When the shine disappears, I spray a bit, and then you get, in just a few seconds, you get these blooms and backgrounds. When I do things like this, like in mountain here, I had several different colors, so you get a nice variation of orange, red, brown, black, warmer, closer, the same kind of mountain, but it's further away, so I make them smaller and cooler. And here also a bit of So also here I spray a bit so I get some life back in the surface. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Bjorn,
Yeah.
could you elaborate a little bit about the brushes you made yourself, the crazy ones? What were some of the bristles made of? And I think it was regular
It's
paintbrush.
this is made of pig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
Bjorn.
yeah. So this, for instance, it's made with a brush here. I just do it like this to get some. This is enough to tell you this is a forest. At least a typical northern atmosphere's forest. So I'll show you the brush now. A quick way how to. So I'm going to use have these kind of boards when I travel. It's a black foam board that I tape with tape, transparent tape, so it's easy to bring. And when I tape it, it will stand water. So I take a quarter sheet, and you want to see. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna move around a bit or lower the. You want to see. I don't have any, not yet. I'm not using any reference photo now. It's just gonna show you how I use this brush. Gonna put this one underneath. I'm not taping this paper for the moment because it's nothing. I won't wet the paper very much. I'm just going to use the brush as drawing tool and painting tool, but it's a lot of as much as it's a drawing
Det
thing.
inträffade ett problem med ditt Apple Music-konto. För att lösa det bör du kontrollera att dina kontouppgifter stämmer i appen Inställningar.
Sorry, that's Siri talking to me.
Well, we enjoyed Sylvie. I had a question from one of our members. Is there any particular reason why you chose a blackboard as opposed to a whiteboard as your
Okay. I also have whiteboards, but as you can see, even if I have paint here, because there will be paint stuck even if I have tape, so I won't see the color, so it won't disturb my eye having a lot of color here, like red, blue, green, black. So it's for non-disturbing. It's some colors here, but you don't see it because it's black underneath. You can get them in white too, but then it will be, then it will look like this, like that. But this one is new, so it's not so much on it, but you won't see that all that's. But I mean, I can clean it afterwards, but the paper pops out, so that's nice. So okay, I'm gonna use any color, but I'm taking this very common Payne's gray because I want a graphic feeling to this demo. This is just a quick thing. Take some I think burnt sienna. They are nice together. Let's see if I find it here. There it is. And I'll squeeze it out here. what's important here when I do this, it's first, this brush don't hold a lot of amount of water, so you will have to pick up new paint quite often. And I want this paint here to be quite thick. So I want a lot of paint in different thicknesses. So I want to just show you what I mean. You've probably heard of this. I mean, the difference of the thickness of the paint makes it, the mixing, like tea, coffee, milk, cream, and so on. I mean, this is common in the watercolor now communities now. So you have to think of how thick you mix your paint. So it's very common. People just mix this thickness, this like tea, coffee, milk. Sometimes I want even thicker mixes, so I need more pigment.
Bjorn, do you always use fresh, wet watercolors, or do you also like a dry palette?
No, I always use tube colors. I mean, I know that it's a bit stressful sometimes to have to squeeze it out and squeeze new paint, but I'm quite used to it, so I'm only using that. But I mean, you don't need it, but I do a lot of big scale 2 meters paintings, and you cannot work with. But if I go on a trip, travel, I have a small what do you call it? Yeah, not tubes, but in the studio always tube colors, because you can get really thick, juicy mixes in just seconds. So here now I'm mixing. Actually want you to see closer so you can see the. So you can see how this looks like a Viking helmet. So if I want to do like a tree or so I mean, you have to get used to this brush. Sometimes I do just the tip of it. I just use one tip point at a time. And then I put the whole brush down. Then I'm right-handed, so in that direction I put it down like that. To the right I do it upwards. So then you can wash it and put another color, maybe a bit more transparent, less pigment, more water. Oh. Try not to make a Christmas tree. I mean, the American, you have another brand of trees. No, but other. So this is a typical Swedish one, at least, or a Scandinavian. You can do some coming down here. Then I do the full side like this. Go a bit closer. I'm not sure probably you cannot see the colors as good as I can, but It's more like the shape. It's, as you can see, it's as much as how to draw a bit with it, because it's not big washes. It cannot do that, but for details, these crisp things that you cannot do with, you can, but no, you can't with any other brush. And then we can end with a just, let's say it has it's close here. It's coming down outside of the picture. So down here it's this old dead branches. And as you can see, I just do it in one go, wet in wet. Let's see. This is not the best one ever, but so you can see how I'm using it. And just to, sometimes I enjoy spraying a bit here to just make things happening here. So I want the drops, using this one to irritate the pigments a bit, because it's getting nearly dry here. So just maybe I was a bit too early, but that doesn't matter. And also always using this one. This is not a hair dryer. It says so here, caution, hot. This is not a hair dryer. It's craft use only. It's really good. Almost no sound, no wind, just heat. So it's perfect for B1. I often want to make it dry quick, because I want to come to the drying stage for making blooms and backgrounds. Instead of just standing here waiting for the paint to dry, I use this one just to speed it up. You have to be careful so it don't dry too much. If you sorry, focus. So let's just, I sprayed and I want more water, and I dry this a bit again. And I will do just to get some depth here. If this was for real, I would have done the back on the background first. But I want to show you how to do the tree here first. But just dry it, or dry a forest line here, background, a pale blue. For this, I could actually, no, I'll use this. I'm deciding where to put the forest, low or high. That will mark where I'm standing watching. If it's like that, I will stand higher up. If I put it there, I will stand on the ground. That makes the perspective. But I'll put it just here somewhere, or maybe like here. So this is a bit more pale. I think it was a bit too dark, I think. Let's correct that. Normally I would have done this first before I did the tree, but So here, and now I can, with this brush, planning how high I want, how close this forest is. So I'm taking this a bit thicker. Now I'm using the whole side. With this paint is a bit drier now, so I mean thicker. So now you get a bit of, okay, it wasn't horizontal, but okay, no matter. And you can do some really things like this. I also often do that just to give some life to it. Oh, that's just want to show you how I work with this one. And then I won't do a full so much more on this, but then you can just do more of this things like, or just one at the time. It could be another one here. It's not the perfect composition, but just show you how quick you can just this bit. This is not typical Florida trees, I know, but I think you can use it on other trees too. And you can, I mean, the Everglades, you can do the reeds like this. Perhaps I'm actually doing that today. And I often splatter things. Oh. So that's a bit how I use that one. So I'm gonna change this. Then I work a bit, as you can see, wet and wet, changing colors and do it quick. Not too lots of pigments, and really make the brush really wet. So you just have to practice how to use it. Okay. I also have a larger one, as I told you, for reeds and larger paintings. Let's see. Someone is keeping the time, of course. Now I'm gonna take a larger paper, a half sheet.
Bjorn, about 40 more minutes.
Okay. Let's do some backgrounds. Blooms and backgrounds in the sky. I think I found this. This is Everglades somewhere. And I got inspired by these trees here. Look like Swedish pine trees. I mean, you have a lot of, so this is inspiration for the next demo, but I will do it landscape, horizontal on a half sheet, which I have here. Now I need larger brushes. And for this sky here, I think that's perfect with Antwerp blue on that, for that. Just have to plug in a bit here. I'm using these things, plastic and this porcelain. So you need large mixing areas. That's really important. You don't use too small palettes. And sometimes I pre-wet the paper a lot, or often. I do that often. If I want to do a sky like this, big surface, I pre-wet it. I can pre-wet it both sides. You can soak it into the bathtub, whole paper, and wait for it to expand and put it on your board. But I use the pre-wet with the brush. But tonight I won't pre-wet it. I'm going to use paint on dry paper, and the reason for that is because I want to come to the drying point quicker. If I pre-wet it a lot, I have to wait for maybe 20 minutes until I can do my blooms and backgrounds. So I'm going to use a really large wet brush, paint directly on dry paper. And the reason is because I want to come to the drying point earlier. So if you weren't here, I would have pre-wet the paper, because then I can work a bit slower. But you can, I mean, I can work both ways. So I'll start with putting up some Antwerp blue. I will have some. Let's see, where did I put that? The inspirational photo, there it is. So I'm going to do it cooler up here, and adding some permanent rolls, some yellows, yellow ochre, Antwerp blue, perhaps some ultramarine too, just to get some. I mean, I often use both warm and cool blues and yellows and reds, because this is Antwerp blue is a cool blue, and French ultramarine is a warm one, because this has red in it and this goes to green. So that's cool, warm. Also among yellows, I use New Gamboge, which is a cool yellow, and yellow ochre or raw sienna is a warm. And that's important if you have some blue colors in your sky. You have to be careful not using Antwerp and New Gamboge. Both are cool and the sky will turn green. But if these two mixes on the paper, it won't be green, because both are warm and are not in the green area. This is too red. So you have to be careful how the colors meet on the paper. Let's see. Some permanent rolls. It's not much to see. I'm just squeezing out permanent rolls. I think. Okay. And some yellow ochre ready to go here. So, oh, Björn, this is a big sheet. You need more paint, more pigment. So, let's see.
Bjorn, can you explain
Yeah.
a little bit more about the colors you don't use together to make, I guess, green or, mud?
Yeah, I'll remind me of that, and I will do a demonstration of what happens
Okay,
if
thank
we do it wrong. It's about this. So now it's Antwerp blue with some ultramarine, and I think I'm gonna add some. I have some Payne's gray here. Just make it a bit. So big brush, not too dry, and this is like. Let's say the mixture is like milk. Now cleaning the brush. Bit. I want to go down with yellow here, and I need some more. I mean, I'm immediately when I start to paint, I stop watching this. I stop watching my painting. What do my painting do? I'm not so interested in what's here exactly here. Who cares? No one would have this to compare with. I just want to do a nice painting. And so now I'm adding more heat here. It looks a bit childish in the beginning, but then I will do some backgrounds and adding things so it will loose up this. Now clean water. Going down to the here. Actually, if you're painting along, this is the reason for this is to try to do the blooms and backgrounds, and you don't have to. For that practice, you don't actually need to do any subject. You just reason is to find the perfect timing for the how to create backgrounds. So I'm doing cool, warm, yellow and white, and so this is the reflection in the water actually. Correct. I mean, you want so I mean it looks funny until you are done with your painting fully. So now I'm waiting for the paper to or the pigments to settle. So I'm watching the sheen. As you can see, it's you can see how it shines, and this is too early to make to create backgrounds or blooms. But I will just for get some really, I'm gonna add a bit more orange here. To get the, so just gonna squeeze out, have orange on my brush. Mm. So when I paint, I just always rely on that the paper, other pigments will. So now just, sorry, I'm speeding up. Maybe you. Sorry for turning around, but I have to. And I'm folding it here now and then. So it can run different ways. And I'm looking at the shine, and it's too early to do anything.
Bjorn, what color orange did you use for that?
That was transparent orange from Schmuke. And it was a bit dirty here, so it turns a bit brownish. Now I'm just waiting, and everyone's painting will look totally different, of course, because this is intuitive way of painting. As you can see, I'm holding my paper, my arm underneath here. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of water here. I don't have any extra water. This is how I work a lot too. I don't add more water or more paint than this paper needs. So you have to be careful how wet your brush is. Otherwise, water will just run all the ways. So you don't want it, and you don't need any pools of water running all directions. So now, as you can see, it immediately starts to give you some drying edges. But now I'm gonna pour pure water here when I see that the shine is correct. And pouring, couldn't spray, but now I'm going to use the brush full of water. So I fill it with water, so I can use this brush like this and squeeze. I'm squeezing out the water and makes it. I'm tilting the paper. It's hard for you to see, but now it's flat, and I'm lifting it like here, lifting it towards me, and I'm checking the shine. As you can see, if you cannot see, if it looks dry, you could, if you want to, put your finger there, and it gives you a fingerprint that stays. And then you know it's not dry, but it's almost dry. Perfect for doing putting water into it. This is demonstration, so this is how it end up. This is to make some. So what happens is that the paper, the shine, the light of the paper comes back again. So this is it. If we want a reflection in the water here, I do it the same way, squeezing out and tilting it all the way so that it runs all the way over there. That's a large goat hair brush makes it. Let's do another here. So it's have to put in some more so it runs all the way. I mean, this is the first wash. You can later on pretend that this might be a landscape. You just decide what this is. This is perfect for northern lights. When I do northern lights, I can use this technique. I actually have a video on my website where I do northern lights in some green and blue colors, yellow. But this is more a technique demo where I show you get these edges. The water that poured in pushes. So the timing was perfect. This paper, as you see, now it's dry. So I just have seconds. If I poured now, it would have been too late. If I pour water here, it will run on top of the paper, just like a ball running over. It has to go down to the paper and move the pigments, the pink, purple pigments, and push it. The water pushes the pigments to the sides. Here's the orange pigments. And then you get some whiteness back of the paper. So this is a way of painting backwards, adding dark colors, pouring water and getting back the light. So now you just have to imagine this just settles. As you can see, to get this, I mean, it's on both sides. It's here and it's there because the amount of water that was here will try to expand both ways. Because the water tries to go into the wet paper as long as it can, but suddenly the paper is dry and then all this water here pushes the pigments and they will assemble on the edges and give you that look.
Bjorn,
Yeah.
what about the level of granulation? Does that make a difference when you're doing this technique?
Yeah, I always use cold press. Granulation. Oh, I thought you mean the grain of the paper. No.
No, it's the granulation of the colors.
Oh yeah, I always use transparent colors for this when I want to do blooms, and granulating colors are too heavy, too much pigments. They won't move this easy. They are too heavy. They just fall down. I mean, you can pour water and tilting when you have granulating colors, you can make the granulating effect, but you cannot get the bloom effect in the same way. It's hard to get these things with like some of Daniel Smith's really granulating colors. It will be lots of pigments just laying here. It will be more dirty because you want those really, really small pigments. Transparent colors have so really microscopic pigments, so you can't see the pigments here. It's just flat when you have those transparent, but when you do this, you get those really nice. The difference of this surface and this is really strong or big. If you have granulating color here, this won't show up so much if you have a lot of things happen with it. So transparent colors give you more effect. So now what next step here is actually just imagine, do you want to put a forest here? I mean, this looks crazy at this stage, but you just have to decide, okay, put forest here. Immediately, this will look like a sky. This looks stupid. But if you imagine putting some trees and reeds, this will appear better. Or like this one, yeah, this is a bit different, but it's blooms like this. You don't have to be afraid. You just spray a bit here and there. I could have sprayed more and get more. This is backgrounds, or I don't know what you call this. It's not really blooms, but I mean, this is blooms. That's what I call bloom when you get these round things. So I could have done that earlier, just spraying and get things round things. That's the timing is the thing. So I have a kind of this thing here behind those houses. So I could do a silhouette like this on this one. It's just this is the start of a landscape painting, or you just put a mountain like this. So I'm gonna do something like this, so this turn out to be some kind of landscape. But then I want it to be a bit. I want this to be dry before I start to do trees or things here.
Bjorn, if you were doing the bird on this same painting, would you block out the bird before you did the background, or how would you approach that?
Yeah, I would. Or I did that on this one, so I blocked that. I actually did the bird first, goldfinch. So I painted that, and then I did this. I mean, this is enough space here without disturbing this. And that's so, yeah. And I won't do a background over here. I mean, you have to plan what to do. This is snow in the dark after sun almost. So yeah, blocking the bird. But as long as the subject is darker than this one, I can do, I mean, this is dark enough to paint over here. So, or trees or a.
Bjorn, can you do this approach using layers?
That's a good question. You could, but for every layer you get, yes, I do. But for these, I want to do these fresh things in one go. But I do other things on top of this with blooms, yes. But this one, the best effect is when you do it in one go, first wash and then do this background, because I want the highlight. I want the light coming up through by doing this. If I do another wash on top of this, that's dark, suddenly this will disappear, the light. So you can, but you have to be careful so you don't put out the light in the painting. But I mean, it can work up here, and yeah, as long as you have be careful so you don't make it too dark, because then you will lose the shine. But I will want to show you.
Bjorn, we're about 15 minutes before
Yeah, okay, I'll do a quick Everglade landscape here. Do some, because this will be pretty dark. Maybe this is not in your list, so maybe I shouldn't use Iridium. No. So this is I have several of these crazy brushes, so I take this one and let's do it. We have some sun here, so I have to check where's the highlight. So here, okay, here I'll take some heat. Oh, not Swedish forest, Björn. This is some warmth, and I go to Björn. That was a bit of Antwerp blue and oh, when I start to move my hand, I can't talk. That was now it's burnt umber and Payne's gray. Let's see how I can do some kind of I want that, keep that light here so I don't, some depth. So I have this, watching this one. Some warm. I can just spraying, so I'm loosening up some. Quick here, and some so now I'm taking this larger one and be careful with how I'm applying the I want some warm heat here. So final 2 minutes, whatever is left. You need this heat. And creating nice edges or mirror looking things. Should take this bit with some rigor. Some dead free.
Bjorn, what was the orange gold color you used again in the sunset?
Here. Oh, that's transparent orange. If that's the one you meant. In the sky was yeah, and transparent orange. And for the first wash was yellow ochre, but yes, the sky, the orange here is transparent orange. So I want to add, where I have some highlight, you add really warm colors around it here. And splatter. Oh yeah, those trees. This was interesting. Forgot about this. That's further away, so they were not so easy to do.
Bjorn, do you use your dagger brush in this process?
No, I actually took the rigger instead, just a normal rigger, this one. And some reflecting thing here on. Could just make some things here to make it interesting. So it's a lot of by using you can see I want these things to happen. I mean, spraying so I loose up and then I get these things. It looks like here. This is by spraying, so you get that type of this is a really quick and dirty. It needs more contrast down here, but I mean we have to wait for the drying stages, but I mean a 2-day workshop we can work a bit more in control and not so stressful, but it is a stressful way because it's timing. You have to really wait for the drying stage, and often you're too early with spraying and nothing will happen. You just have to wait for that perfect stage when the paper has the correct moisture. That's it's very common that people spray or pour water too early. Even if they see that the shine is too much, they cannot handle themselves. You just have to continue. It's a bit boring standing waiting for paper to dry. So it's common to here. This is
Bjorn, it is
yes.
magnificent painting. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Well, it could have been worse. It could have been better, but it's just yeah. This is as far as I could do it on this. Well, you have to go and wait for find the. I mean, here I will do some spraying here when this dries here, so I can do some blooms in this area. I will take a picture of it when it has settled, and I can if we because I don't think I have time for that.
You know, I am really thrilled that you're going to be our 2025 online workshop artist. Now, just so you know, Bjorn will be teaching an online 2-day workshop on Friday, June 13th, and Saturday, June 14th. We hope to see you there. The registration for Bjorn's workshop is open for members, and you can sign up online at the FWS website. More details about our other workshop with Matthew Bird, Kathleen Giles, Janet Rogers, and Judy Saltzman are available on our FWS website. Registration for these workshops open on July 2nd, 2025. Thank you so much, Bjorn. I hope
Thank you.
do all the questions. I'm sorry if I didn't get to as many as we would have liked, but thank you so much. It was a wonderful afternoon.
Good to hear. Thank you.
And thank you to our members for attending. We had excellent attendance, Bjorn.
Oh, fun.
And we hope to see you at the next demo. And again, special thanks to Gwen and Subrata for helping to host this.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, and thanks again.
Yeah, bye-bye.